Hello, Sophie, Annika's mum. Today we're talking boredom. Boredom can be very scary and uncomfortable, and you don't want to be bored, and you don't want your kids to be bored. But boredom is where the gold is if you go into it. Yesterday, I'm going to give you a little story. So yesterday, me and Oscar had the morning painting, and I was doing my artwork and he was painting his boat. He did what he wanted to do, and then he painted some cardboard, and then after that he was kind of walking around the kitchen for a bit, looking a bit like, oh, I don't know what to do now. He'd got bored, and then he found a little bouncy ball and he became obsessed with this bouncy ball. It was absolutely fascinating to watch. He played with that bouncy ball. He was totally absorbed in it, totally present for about 25 minutes. He wanted to see how high it bounced, how he could catch it, how he could catch it in a hat, how he could pass it through a little slinky, how it went around in the washing basket, how it shot out of the washing basket onto the wall. He was absorbed. Now, what was fascinating about this was when he got interrupted, when Bea and Tim had come home, he couldn't quite handle that. He got really upset about it. He had been so absorbed in that present moment, and the piece had been disturbed, I guess, and he'd lost his immersiveness, thanks to sort of the chaos of others. So he just needed a soothe, because he didn't know quite what to do with himself. So we gave him a soothe, I gave him a hug, and we did a reset, and then he went back to the ball again. But it was just, it's that, and it's in that he talks as well. I don't know if your children do this. I think most children do have this fascinating, just conscious narrative going on of just words and stories and exploration of the mind. And I find it fascinating to listen to. It's like, wow, that is his thought. He's saying his thoughts out loud. That's where he's at. He is so present. But the boredom, which is what we fear as parents, is that we think that our kids should be constantly active, constantly learning, which actually they are, just perhaps not through ways we have been led to believe. We don't give enough precedence to the power of just being, the power of boredom, the power of sitting with yourself in peace and seeing what comes up, seeing where it takes you. We've put that word onto them. They don't know they're bored. To them, they are just being. We've given them that term to come and say, I'm bored. Whereas actually, what if we nurtured it as a space to listen to yourself, see what comes up. You don't need to turn the telly on. Don't need to go to a screen. They might kick off. They might make some noise. They might get angry. They might shout and whatever. But it's in that space, in that interval of boredom, where the juicy stuff comes up, both for kids and us as adults. I know I find it hard. I sort of will flip from thing to thing because I think I don't want to get bored, do not want to get bored. But it's when I do allow myself to sit and be bored, that's where I can start to hear myself, can start to let the narrative quieten, and what I want to do next all comes through. So yeah, don't be afraid of boredom. Write to me, challenge me, question me. Bye.